I think that people like to look at their own, reflection of their selves. We all do. So portrait exhibitions, whether it's paintings or photographs, are always immediately interesting to viewers. So I think, again, the works in this galleries are all people's faces, basically, but they very directly deal with issues of race and gender, being dislocated from your homeland in some cases. Behind me, we see Njideka Akunili Crosby's Dwell Me We from 2017. While Njideka sits at the table having her cup of coffee, there's a dog at her feet. That is very unusual in Nigeria. People don't have domestic animals so much. So the whole scene gives a lot of sort of American culture, but it also directly calls back to her roots and being in Africa and being in Nigeria and what that growing up experience meant to her and how she's still connected to it but also disconnected from it. What Morimura is doing with that entire series is thinking about not only the layers of a man dressing up or becoming a woman, but also, in this case, becoming a star, Elizabeth Taylor. When you read the work, you're sort of looking at starlet and then issues of gender and issues of race, all at the same time. Carrie Mae Weems in this gallery is the subject of her own work in the 3 photographs in this gallery from the Kitchen Table series. Weems uses the kitchen table to talk about all the things that women, American women, go through as part of daily life and sort of what that really looks like, compared to the archetype of American woman. And she is a fictional character in these works, but real life comes into play in the 3 works that are centered around this very domestic space, often associated as a feminine space. So all of these things are happening at the kitchen table. A lot of them have to do with the idea, in my view anyway, of being the matriarch of a family. What I think of as sort of the culminating image of the series. Her hands are on the kitchen table, she's leaning forward, the light's right over her head, and she's staring out directly at us as viewers, which is, again, a very sort of like a power move. And Martine is a transgender artist who has done an entire series, that this work comes from it, of herself posed with models. In this case, she's nude, the model is clothed. Sometimes she's clothed. There are different versions, but this series is an exploration of her own transformation from male to female over time. Somehow, the Martine Gutierrez just has a very strong presence on a wall, isolated all by itself. It holds the wall, and there's so much strength on that end of the room. The work that is clearly a group portrait of bathers is a work by the Dutch artist Reneke Dijkstra, and it shows a group of young adolescents, really like some on the verge of puberty, some already, have blossomed, but standing along a shoreline in their bathing suits. This comes from Dijkstra's series of bathers, usually this exact age, like this really in-between age between being a child and being an adult, and just the awkwardness that we can all relate to from that age comes across in the photograph. Kehinde Wiley is an American artist who has looked at the history of paintings, specifically portraits, and taken out the original sitter, which was usually a white male, and replaced that sitter with a contemporary urban black man. In the work, you see this very handsome man dressed in contemporary clothes on a white horse, and it's exactly the pose of Colonel Platov on his horse. Young people, and especially men or women of color, don't normally see their own likeness necessarily in a painting, and so it connects with people in a way that was sort of unexpected the first time we showed Kehinde, but we've seen it happen over the years. We all like to study and see our own likeness. So just to see other humans, other portraits in general, I feel like are an automatic attraction for us as viewers, because it somehow puts us at ease in a way that other subject matter doesn't necessarily automatically do. I mean, that's something that probably we don't really think about when we walk into a room, but there is something about walking into a room and seeing human likeness that immediately opens a door in a different way than any other subject matter can.